a different kind of soulmate. Many people believe in a twin flame, but in the romantic sense. But sometimes that twin flame can come in the form of a friend. When I started dating Carrie, it was because of how genuine she was. I really believed that I liked her, and I could always be myself with her. She liked the same things as I did and always brought positive energy where she went. I also liked hanging out with her, and my parents also approved of her. What we had was a perfect relationship, but there was a problem. I never had that feeling of wanting to be intimate with her. I had no idea why the thought of doing something like that was wrong. She understood when I told her the half-truth that I was not ready, not judging me for still being a virgin like my friends did. I started to find myself thinking of someone else when I went to bed at night. That someone was this shy boy called Miles in our class. We had a few conversations, but we're not close. I found myself drawn to him. I was ashamed because I had the best girlfriend in the world, yet here I was lusting over another guy. It also felt wrong because of what my typical Christian family had preached to me growing up. This self-hatred consumed me, and I considered going to drastic means to end the suffering. Slowly, it ate me up, my mind turning against me. No one noticed that I was different, except her. So then, she confronted me. She assumed that I was having some trouble at home, but I said it was not the case, and then, she got sad and asked if it was her. I pretty much said the cliche, "It's not me, it's you." She told me not to hit her with that. Did I still love her? I love you, but I do not love you enough. As much as I want to, I cannot love you in the way that you deserve. Isiah, please tell me what is wrong, she pleaded. Think I'm gay, I said. And then, even though I was urging myself not to shed a tear, I broke down. She did not say anything. She just brought me in closer and hugged me. I was baffled at the way that she took it. Even though she was a kind person, anyone would have had a reaction. She let me talk to her about how I was feeling. And then, she told me that she needed time to process it all. And then we would talk. I did not get to talk to her for a couple of days after that, which I respected because I had just hurt her badly. Either way, she came to me a bit later and explained that she was hurt, but she loved me enough to let me go and would help me figure it out. The way she helped me from that day on made me believe in angels. She helped me to do research, as I could not exactly ask an adult about it. We continued our ruse up to the last year of high school, and I met my first boyfriend after that. We ended up breaking up when he moved. But that experience really assured me that I was gay, and helped me know that I was not sinning. It was difficult to let go of that self-loathing due to not understanding myself, and wondering who I was. Then, I decided that I was ready to tell my parents. She offered to come with me, even though I said she did not have to. She had done so much for me already. To be honest, having her support helped lessen the blow of their rejection. As soon as I said the word gay, my father came for me and tried to physically attack me. He was very pissed off, telling me to say that it was a joke. My mother asked how, since I had a girlfriend. Carrie explained that she knew and supported me. It was too much for my mother to process. She went hysterical, calling me names I never thought I would hear out of her mouth. It was the summer after Carrie and I graduated, and I was going to college soon. They kicked me out on that very day. Carrie lived with her mother, a single mother who was also rarely home because of work. While I figured out what to do, I stayed at her house. We told her mother about what had happened. I did not know her well, but I saw then where Carrie got her good qualities. She let me stay for a while as I figured out what to do. I got a job that offered a place to stay for the rest of the summer. It was hard work, but the pay was good, and I saved up for college. I wanted to start my own business one day, so going to college was a dream I wanted to fulfill. I was hurt by my parents' rejection, as well as that of my extended family. I did not linger too much on it. I had to take care of myself now that I did not have the support of a family. And maybe if I worked hard in the first semester, I would apply for a scholarship. Carrie and I went to the same college and remained friends. She started dating other guys at the time, which I was glad about because she deserved all the happiness in the world. She told me all about her relationship drama, and I would advise her in the best way possible. I was also very protective of her, and if she felt unsafe with a guy, I would step in. Financially, I was barely surviving, balancing between work and school, and even then, I was constantly short on money. I hid my problems for her for a while, but girls are the best detectives, and she started to give me some money. She also had a job, but that was just to fund her excessive reading habit. She would give me any money that she did not need. In the beginning, I refused to let her, but she was so stubborn, assuring me that she could afford to. She did not like seeing me struggling. It made her unhappy. So I let her lend me the money, promising to repay her in full, even though she assured me that it was okay. I felt bad for taking her money. I worked harder at college, wanting to make her proud. She did not stop there. She helped me find love as well. I was a bit shy because I did not have that much experience with love, but she was pretty much my fairy godmother at this point. In our final year of college, after having some confusing relationships and having my heart scorched several times, I met Lewis through her. She came to me screaming that he had found my soulmate. I laughed my head off, of course. She did not tend to be overdramatic. She said that she felt as if I would have a great connection with this other guy she met. He was decent and well put together. She made a point to tell me that he was hotter than chili. She was not wrong about Lewis. He was a beautiful human inside and out. He was a bit shy in the beginning, which I mistook to be a sign that he was not interested. But as we talked some more, we found that we had a real connection. Not once had I buzzed after an interaction with someone. I wanted just to stay on the roof where we met, because Carrie sent me up there. He was not that social and preferred quietness. I took a chance and said hi, and he said that I missed a memo that the real party was here, among the stars. That was a very corny thing to say, which made me internally cringe, but he laughed and agreed with me. And then as days passed, we bumped into each other and exchanged conversations. And after every conversation, I replayed it over in my head. Everything about him, from his intellect, good manners, and surprising humor, got me interested. And then he asked me out to dinner. I was a bit intimidated when I saw the sort of fancy place he brought us to. I had worked in such places but never dined in them. He told me that it was his father's place. He helped out there sometimes as part of his practicals so we could eat at a discount. We had a wonderful time sharing embarrassing stories and talking about what we wanted for our future. He wanted a long-term relationship but had been having terrible luck thus far. I let him know that I wanted someone stable too, which made him smile. At the end of the date, we kissed for the first time, and I was walking on sunshine. We started dating soon after that, and our relationship became serious. After he finished college and began working, we still kept in touch with Carrie and her boyfriend Joseph. But my boyfriend did not really understand why she was over-supportive like that, worrying that she was obsessed with me. I found that ridiculous, but that still led to an argument. But we talked it through and I explained it was the first time I had told someone about my past. I usually hid it because I did not want to relive it. Trusting him with that information brought us closer. And after that confession, he warmed up to her, always supporting me and being there in my life. For the first few years, I worked for someone else, saving up money to pay her back. She never asked for her money back, but I wanted to do that. When I got it all together, she refused, saying that the only way I could repay her was by making my dreams come true. So I took a chance and started my own business. Lewis and Carrie supported me as I went through the hardships that came with a new business. But I was determined to make it, putting in many hours to make that dream come true. And I did it because I started making a steady profit. The success of my business only increased, and the same went for Lewis and Carrie and their jobs. I made a lot of profit, which meant that I could now have everything that I wanted. I bought gifts for the closest people in my life, then bought an apartment for Lewis and me. We had been going steady and wanting to move in with each other for ages. However, somehow word of my good fortune spread to the very people who disowned me. They tried to call me, but after that first call, I blocked them. I was very emotional after that unwanted blast from the past, and then to make things worse, they showed up on my doorstep. They said that they regretted how they had acted towards me and wanted my forgiveness. I told them that I needed to process it, but they needed to leave. I was lost in my thoughts, wondering if they were even being genuine by what they were saying. They did not leave me, sending me messages at odd hours, telling me how proud they were of me. My boyfriend told me to block them. But a part of me hoped that they were telling the truth. It was stupid of me, but I guess I was still that helpless young boy who was desperate for love. But once again, they disappointed me. For the next time I saw them, they asked me a favor. They had run into some financial trouble and needed money. I asked them how much, but that amount was way above what I had or would have the next couple of months. I told them that I had very little and would not get that money soon. Just then, my boyfriend walked in with my sister in tow. He told me that he caught her trying to steal from us. I was very upset and started shouting at her, but my parents intervened, saying that it was my fault for not taking care of them when I made more money. I asked them where they were when I was struggling to get through college. They had kicked me out, pushing me out into the world without even a single cent. I was getting emotional now, and I did not even have the strength to deal with them. The last bit of hope I had faded. My boyfriend had had enough and told him to leave my house and never come back. And then they did try to. They had to go through him. He threatened to get them arrested for trespassing on private property. It meant so much to me that he stood up for me like that. We told Carrie about it a few days afterward when I was feeling ready to talk about it. She was very mad at my family and agreed with Lewis that they needed to be taught a lesson. But I said that life had taught them a lesson since they had to come crawling back to me and asking me for money. And then I saw the perfect opportunity to do something for Carrie to thank her. Joseph had been dating Carrie for a while, and he was the best boyfriend from what I could see. He came to me to tell me that he wanted to propose to Carrie. We decided to help him out by letting him use Lewis's restaurant to propose. I would cover all the other costs. Carrie said yes to marrying Joseph. I was so happy for her. Out of everyone, she deserved the most happiness. And so, I decided to give her an early wedding present. I talked to her and Joseph and informed them that I wanted to sponsor their entire wedding. She tried to refuse, of course, saying that I could not do it. But I told her how grateful I was that she had helped me out when I was exiled from my family. She did not have to do that. I would not have blamed her if she walked away. But from day one, she was my best friend, a partner in crime, and a confidant. It was so difficult to find such a connection with someone. Her mother, who was also visiting, convinced her to let me sponsor the wedding. I had explained to her everything that happened in college, which she was not aware of, and her response had been, "My girl has always had a pure heart." She had gone home with me during the holidays, and I stayed with them when school was closed. And even when she had relationships, I thought she would stop supporting me, but she never did. I owe her my very life. Who knows how it would have turned out if I had kept my secret, or if I had nowhere to go after my parents kicked me out. And so then, several months after Joseph proposed to Carrie, the day of the wedding finally came. It was very lavish. I made sure that they only had the best. This was the happiest day of her life, and I wanted everything to go without a hitch. Many people speak of a bridezilla. Well, I was the insufferable best friend who made sure nothing went wrong. She always handled everything, but now it was time for her to relax a bit. The wedding went well. There were so many people whose lives she and Joseph had touched. Joseph was a lawyer, but he did mostly pro bono cases, and Carrie worked with NGOs as well as in her regular job. She did not want anyone to be left out. She invited all the people she had met and helped over the years. During the after party, they left for their honeymoon. Now, I was slow dancing to a song with the love of my life. He was the most supportive person who had defended me against the ghosts from my past. Every day was an adventure with him, and I never wanted to leave his arms. He was the only boyfriend I had who understood my friendship with Carrie. This was a beautiful wedding. Very. I'm just glad she got her happily ever after. She has been through a lot with relationships. True, I hope that one day we will be able to have a day like this, he smiled. Maybe that day will be soon, I smiled, bringing him closer to me. I never thought that I would get married, due to the state of my love life, but that was now about to change, because a few weeks later, we sort of proposed to each other. It turned out that after that conversation, both of us bought rings without telling the other. So when we went down on his knees, I did the same and took out the ring I brought for him. It was so funny yet romantic. We got married in a beautiful ceremony, surrounded by the people we loved. We also got the nice surprise of being told that we were going to be godparents to Carrie and Joseph's child. Sometimes your family's not the ones you share blood with, but the ones that stay with you at your lowest, without expecting anything. I had two people I loved the most in the world, but each of them in a different way. I would always love Carrie like a sister/best friend. And Lewis was the owner of my heart, the man who I could turn to and find beside me, ready to enfold me in his protective embrace. The end. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing to become part of our Rainbow Force and stay wholesome.